I dream for all of us to own wardrobes with garments made from sustainable sources, including fair wages for the makers. I aim to motivate and inspire viewers to see the clothes they wear as an expression of their personality and their beliefs. This is the Slow Wardrobe. Come and have a look. Hello, welcome to another episode of the Slow Wardrobe podcast. I was hoping to fit in filming of another episode before our July show in Amtil near Bedford called Fibre East, but I didn't manage it. I had a short holiday in July leading up to the show, and it was all too much to cram in. What I will show you this time is a little bit of footage from the holiday. First off, I'll start here with a panorama of the view that we had from where we were staying. We were in the Loire Valley in Saumur, and what you can see on this panorama is a view of the Loire River, and you can see that the river level, the water level in the river was unbelievably low. Didn't spoil any of the fun. There was still enough water to have a wonderful week, and you can see a good view of the castle in Saumur as well. It is the most stunning view there, and we adore it. We've been there before and we're likely to go back again. The other bit that I want to show you of the same week, I'm not sure it's going to work in terms of sound. If I can, then you'll hear and see a little bit of the sound of our car here. What you saw there is what I see from the front windscreen when I sit in the passenger seat of our old Series 3 Land Rover, which we are doing up bit by bit, and we actually had the courage to take that to France with us this year. We had a fantastic time. Our cruising speed was about 40 miles per hour. We did a lot of driving on LPG, which turned it, despite the generous fuel consumption of a Series 3 Land Rover, into quite an economical car, which is in itself a hilarious idea if you know anything about Land Rovers. But we thoroughly enjoyed it. We loved the sound, and what you're seeing now is a little bit of filming I did out of the side window when we passed by some troglodyte houses that are hewn out of the stone hills in the area where we were staying. And as you can see, it looks quite spectacular. We didn't visit any of those houses this time, but we saw plenty, as we always do. We still have a little holiday to come with our kids. We're going to go to the Outer Hebrides at the end of August. This is their request to go back to Scotland, where we took them a couple of years ago, and they far prefer that over warm weather. So it'll be quite a different story from the week that the two of us had together in France, because it'll probably be cold and windy on the Hebrides. I'll try and shoot some footage there as well and show you next time around. But I'm still very much in holiday mode, and the weather has been quite cooperative here until this afternoon, because lo and behold, now it's actually raining. That doesn't stop the fun though. Like I said, still in holiday mode, so I try to come into the studio very early in the morning and then try and squeeze out not too late in the afternoon, so there is a little bit of daytime left to enjoy while all the kids are at home on their summer holiday. And unfortunately, knitting is kind of going by the wayside. I'm not knitting as half as much as I would like to. It's just because I'm doing too many other fun things. However, I do have a bit of knitting to show you. About that more in a minute. You see part of it in the picture already, but first an overview of what else is in this episode. More about layer cake this time and more outfit ideas, specifically with a view on the weather that's going to change again soon, and starting to look and think ahead to autumn and how to take something like this, a layer cake playsuit, which is what I'm wearing at the moment, into autumn by adding more layers, how and where to add those layers, and layering all the way through to winter time without going into woolies yet. So it's a firm idea of going into autumn but not into winter yet. More about winter later on this season, of course. And specifically trying to challenge you about what kind of patterns and colors to combine. Go to your own wardrobe. You'll see me wearing these layer cake items with lots of non-layer cake. Just literally grabbed a bunch of different items from my own wardrobe and teamed them in different ways with the layer cake outfits and other layer cake garments to give you lots of ideas and challenge your perception of wearing prints together, wearing different color families together. I would love to hear and see what you put together. Send me pictures if you can. Combined with your layer cakes would be fantastic. Anything and everything is welcome. The whole idea is that we keep celebrating our outfits and make them go further by putting new combinations together. I hope you enjoyed that bit of the show. Before I launch into that, a little bit of knitting information in the shape of new kits and ideas for small knits. You may have seen these two before. Both of these designs are part of a pattern that I give away for free on my website called the Double Dart. So if you want a free copy, go to my website. You can download it for free. It contains two designs, this one called the Single Dart and this one here called the Multiple Dart. They're both scarves, for want of a better word. Each of them takes 100 grams of 4-ply yarn, and both of these are knitted in my very luxurious Yak Blend 2, which is a blend of 50% yak down and 50% silk. It feels as soft as cashmere, but it's got a little bit more of a sheen than cashmere does because of the silk content, of course. So I have lots of colors in the yak silk. I will show them to you here, all the different colors that are available. And I have them listed as separate as yarns, but I also have kits listed on the website that you can choose from with particular color ideas. So 100 gram for each of these two. The Yak Blend 2 comes in 50 gram hanks, so you'd need two little 50 gram hanks to knit either that one or this design. This color is Bitter Lime if you're interested. This color is Smoked Paprika. The other kit that I would like to introduce you to is, I'll show the sample. It's knitted in Pot of Gold, which is one of the new colors that I'm showing you here, and Sliver, which of course is a word play on silver. And those two colors together, quite reminiscent of precious metals, just like paprika, smoked paprika, and Bitter Lime are reminiscent of copper and brass. So are Sliver and Pot of Gold, of the obvious colors. This is a cowl, and as you can see, it's one of those items that you can literally just throw on over your head and it sits nicely immediately. You can drape it in different directions, you can wear it in different ways. There's lots of opportunities, lots of possibilities rather, to play with it. If you turn the V section to the back, then It covers the top of your back very nicely, of course, keeping that bit of you warmer, especially if it starts getting cooler, and creating a nice little loose cowl in the front. But you can go the other way around. You can go sideways, of course, but go the other way around, and then it'll really keep the back of your neck warm and create a nice color splash in front. Fiddling, fiddling, fiddling. The best thing is to not fiddle at all and just let it fall, and it'll sit beautifully on you. So this is a design, another design by one of my favorite designers called Isabel Kramer. She was the lady behind the cardigan, the Grams Revive, that I kept knitting over and over again. This sample I haven't knitted myself. One of my fabulous sample knitters has knitted this for me. And the design is called Nadine. So Nadine by Isabel Kramer. You need 100 grams of each of the two colors. So 200 grams of yarn in total, 100 grams of each. And it just has the most glorious pattern. I'll take it off so you can see the shape a little bit better. If I turn it, then you can see here how it's been grafted together and that turns a little bit. The whole thing is asymmetrical and it has this lovely, lovely bubble pattern in it, bubble stitch pattern. So in a point, goes in a point like you can see, and you just throw it on over your head and done. So if you're interested in the pattern, it's Nadine by Isabel Kramer on Ravelry. Buy the pattern from her, and then if you like, get one of the kits that has 100 grams of each color. I've got some color suggestions on the website, or you can choose your own colors on the product listing on the website of Yak Blend 2, and you'll end up with a gorgeous little knit. Nice and small knit to work through if you still have some holiday coming or it's still warm where you are. So that's it for knitting this time. Short but sweet. Next time I hope to come back with some more of my own knitting, which I'm still doing behind the scenes, but only very small amounts at the moment for obvious reasons. Without further ado, here we go with a layer cake section about taking your Playsuits, or other layer cake garments for that matter, from summer into autumn. Start layering with your own wardrobe, have fun, let me know how you get on, and enjoy. The basis for this part of the program are two Playsuits. The one that I'm wearing right here, which is the long length, i.e. long on me, with my 5'10" in the black gingham, which I wear just like this in the summer, just with a little bralette, nothing else. And when it gets very warm, then I unzip it. The difference between wearing a Playsuit zipped or unzipped is a really big difference when it gets warm. And just showing that, yes, you see the top of my bralette, which I don't particularly find a problem. And it stops me from having to wear vests and other tops underneath when it gets very warm. So you can see how the Playsuit is all the way down to my ankles compared to this one, which is a medium length of the small check Playsuit, which comes kind of halfway down my calves, slightly cropped. So moving into slightly colder weather, just wearing a small cropped cardigan over the top of the Playsuit and wearing it either loose or, like what I'm showing now, buttoning it up, which cinches in the waist area just a little bit, creating a slightly different silhouette. So both options look fine, and again, it's often a matter of temperature. When it gets slightly colder, then buttoning it up, apart from singeing the waist, also makes it slightly warmer. Now, the same cardigan in that very neutral grey colour can be worn with the other playsuit, the gingham one, and that looks equally effective. And I will be showing you throughout this segment wearing neutral colours or colourful colours and pairing them with both playsuits to show you how versatile playing with colours can be. So sticking with that same neutral coloured playsuit, but then a very bright coloured little cardigan over the top. Again, a tight one, so you can cinch it a little bit at the waist and create a nice silhouette with it. And you can see how it completely jazzes up the colour of the whole outfit, as well as changing the silhouette a little bit with the tightness of the cardigan. Same cardigan with the colourful playsuit, and I say it so often on the stands when I'm talking to customers and showing the small check to customers. There are so many colours in the small check, I think there's 17 in total, that it almost serves as a neutral, even though it's so colourful. Back to the gingham playsuit, next layer, just a long sleeve tee worn underneath. This is a notch neck t-shirt from long sleeve notch neck from Gap, which I think are very versatile. They're slightly ribbed and I love them. Then pairing that with that small cropped cardigan over the top again. Have you ever thought of doing something like that? Just to bring in a little pop of colour. And then a third layer over the top of that, another summer cardigan. In this case, it's 100% linen cardigan that you can then either wear loose or button up like I'm doing here. And that creates a total of 3 thin layers, all worn on top of each other, creating interest, nice layers, and nice colour in terms of interest, but still sticking with a relatively neutral palette. And still no need for any real winter clothes. So perfect as the weather gets cooler, you can just keep adding thin layers. Going back to that little linen cardigan and wearing that by itself over the top of a playsuit. Again, a good example of just having a plain first layer as it gets slightly cooler, maybe in the evenings in the summer or the first nip of autumn. And even with a cardigan like that, which is very straight so it doesn't nip you in, wearing that buttoned up looks really nice as well. Slightly different silhouette. You don't get the singeing, but it's very effective on top of the what actually looks like baggies at the bottom of the playsuit. Moving on to a slightly longer top and very loose and slightly oversized. You can see again a good example of a first layer when it gets slightly cooler and effectively turning your playsuit in a pair of baggies because the top of the playsuit disappears completely. It ends up being a really nice example of good color blocking where you have a big patch of dark color over the top of the lighter playsuit. Color blocking within the same range can be very effective as well, though, as shown here with a linen jumper in a very narrow stripe made of the same colors as the gingham of the playsuit. So you get a slightly different texture, now bringing that long sleeve t-shirt of Gap back in for added interest, pulling those wide stripes out from under the 3/4 length sleeves, or wearing it under that voluminous and loose fitting jumper that I was showing before. Here's that stripy jumper in that neutral colorway in combination with the small check playsuit. What I'm trying to illustrate with all these different examples is how the same plain jumpers, or in some cases patterned jumpers, can be equally effective over either a neutral or a colorful playsuit. I really like to encourage everyone to play with different colors, different garments, and play with things that you normally wouldn't think of putting together. Here's a great example. a long viscose shirt in a leopard print that I had in my wardrobe, worn over the top of a gingham playsuit. Would you ever have thought of a combination like that? But look how effective it is. And then when you wear it closed, you create a really nice long line shirt and a nice elongating silhouette all round. Or wear it loose like that with like a swaggery coat. Talking of coats, here's the tiny little cardigan worn underneath it, again extra layer, but popping out because it's buttoned up like a waistcoat. So sticking with the autumn theme of adding layers, I'm starting here with the playsuit, the colourful playsuit, and picking out a colour from it in a long sleeve t-shirt and adding to that a tabard in the brick colour. Now, this is an unusual combination, that long sleeve t-shirt together with that brick tabard. And the reason they look so good together is that the red color in brick is virtually the same as the color of the long sleeve tee. So to me, an extremely exciting color combination, and again, quite unexpected. So what can we add? I've grabbed a neutral color rather than going more colorful in the shape of a pinstripe tail smock, calming down the bright colors a little bit, but the blue would be a fantastic alternative. I've taken a mini tabard rather than a tail smock, but the blue picks up from the blue in the playsuit, of course, and looks great with these other colors. However, you can go in lots of different directions, grabbing a red or a charcoal. The combinations are truly endless because of the way we have the linens woven and the colors we choose. The next possibly unusual to you combination is to wear one of the layer cake dresses on top of a playsuit. I've grabbed the small check dress here, first shown with the gingham playsuit and now over the top of the small check playsuit. They can form a lovely extra layer when it starts getting cooler. Now bringing back the neutral color from the bottom of the playsuit in the top by adding that linen jumper, or keeping it more playful with that long line shirt over the top of the colorful dress. I just keep chucking new ideas at you, hoping to inspire you with all of this. Here we are with the brick tabard combined with the neutral colors of the playsuit, the white striped t-shirt, and now also bringing back the warm colors of the leopard print, which of course connect beautifully with the warm color in the brick tabard. One way you can kick this off in your own wardrobe is to start thinking in color families. For example, neutrals, or black and whites, or browns and tans, or brights. This is an example of nice earthy tones that all go together with the small check playsuit. But of course it doesn't end there because the small check has got so many colors in it. Here's that bright t-shirt again, toned down by the moth in a smock. The moth, remember, is a combination of green and lilac, but it shows almost like a medium grey from a distance. You can see that even better when you combine the moth with the gingham, which immediately turns it into a beautifully neutral color. It's almost like a putty. You can see that even better when combining the moth not just with the gingham but with the charcoal in the mini tabard. It's a very exciting neutral color. I will definitely be wearing it a lot this autumn because I love the fact that it looks grey from a distance but that it's got other colors in it close up. which is of course also why it goes so well with that leopard print long shirt, here worn over the top to create one silhouette of layering, but I'm going to show it tucked in underneath the rest of that outfit next to tone it down a little bit, but to create a real exciting complementary layer underneath the layers of layer cake. I hope you've enjoyed this section of inspiration, and I'd love to see what you create.